Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an aspect of the race we might look back on later as having been a guide to finding the winner. Well, racing at Sha Tin on Sunday this week, the first race we're going to take a look at is race 7, where our winning factor is the map. Now this is quite a competitive Class 4, and I think Millennium Falcon will have fans, as will the impressive last start winner All Riches. Joao Moreira's ride for Frankie Law, Rock Paper Scissors, is nearing a win, as is Tycoon Jewelry from the John Size Yard, and down in the weights, Boomstitch and Pleclone have claims as well. So quite a few winning hopefuls, I think, in this race, but I'm concentrating mostly on All Riches from the Ricky Yu Yard and John Size trained Tycoon Jewelry, and let's take a look at what they've been doing in the lead-up. First of all, this is All Riches in race 7:45, and he's in yellow colours here. He has gate 11, but there isn't a great early speed, and he has enough pace to come across the field and ultimately dictate the speed in the lead. And that lack of pressure in the early stages as he got over from the outside proves quite critical in the end, as he is then able to sprint home hard down the home straight. And for the closers in the race, well, the job of catching him is just too much to do. So a smart win there from All Riches, and he's making his way up the ladder, still a lightly raced horse. And so too is Tycoon Jewelry, who I thought also put in improvement at his latest run despite a defeat. And this time we're going to race 773. He's in gate 3, pink colours, and Tycoon Jewelry really doesn't have a lot to complain about here throughout the run. The early pace isn't too strong. He's able to take up a position in the first 6 or 7, but there is a sound tempo through the middle stages, and from midfield, Antoine Hamlin winds him up, brings him out with a challenge in the final 200 metres, and Tycoon Jewelry finds the line strongly, but the leader has got too much of a break. Now that's something of an illusion how those horses finished off. I guess certainly All Riches looked to sprint very hard down the straight, but he was only 43rd ranked for the final 400 metre splits on that day, whereas Tycoon Jewelry, in defeat, managed to run in the top 20 on his day. So both getting the line well, but Tycoon Jewelry just a little bit better. Now he gets a jockey change on the weekend, which is quite critical, I think, and with all due respect to Antoine Hamlin, a switch to Zac Purtin is definitely an upgrade. And it's here I want to take a little detour due to the Jockeys Championship this season. Now, there's a little bit to unpack with this, but over the years, John Size has not provided much help to the jockeys riding against his stable jockey. In his early days, Shane Dye was the stable rider, Douglas White was the perennial winner, with Dye running second, and White got very few rides off John Size. Later on, White became the stable jockey, Brett Preble was his greatest rival, and Brett Preble didn't get many rides from Size, who only supported the champion jockey White. Later on, when Joao Moreira arrived in Hong Kong and became the stable jockey for Size, Zac Purtin, his nearest rival, again didn't get much support from Size. But this season that has changed for some reason. Perhaps because Joao Moreira has ridden more winners for Size's main rival, Frankie Law, in the Trainers' Championship. But either way, it's a change of fortunes for Zac Purtin with the Size Yard. I'm just going to show you a little graphic of his career in Hong Kong, Purtin, and the rides that he's had for Size. As you can see, not in demand most years at all, but this year, more than a quarter of his rides ever for Size have taken place. He's ridden more winners for him than ever before, and who knows, in a tightly fought jockey championship, that might make the difference for Zac Purtin over Joao Moreira. So a plus on the jockey change there for Tycoon Jewelry, and the final part of the puzzle I think that works for him is certainly the map. And when we take a look at that, Remarkably, from 6 starts, All Riches has drawn in single figures only once, and that was his one race down the straight where you'd much prefer a high number. So again, he has a wide gate on Sunday, and his prospects will depend on how much the horses inside him want to make him work. We saw last time that wasn't so much, and he had a good kick, but runners here like Buddy Spirit, Millennium Falcon and Circuit Mighty also like to get forward in their races and could give him a little bit to do. Other rivals like Rock, Paper, Scissors and Boom Stitch have sticky draws to deal with, while Purtin will have Tycoon Jewelry stalking the pace and ready to close hard. So the tip in race 7, Tycoon Jewelry. His winning factor, the map. There's certainly a bit in his favour aside from the map, including the riding upgrade to Zac Purtin. But I think having the good draw and the soft run is going to be the thing that makes the difference for Tycoon Jewelry. The other race I want to take a look at is the last race, race 10, where our winning factor is the draw. And this is a good class race to finish off, a class 2, so they all have a degree of talent. But I think we can narrow this down to 3 major chances. The Frankie Law trained pair coming up from class 3, Sylvester and Kifi, and another horse also up in class, but also finally getting a decent barrier draw after a succession of unlucky runs, Circuit Stella. But it's the Frankie Law trained pair that will be my focus. One of our winning factors regular viewers will be familiar with is the winner up in class, and that applies to both of these horses, Sylvester and Kifi. So let's take a look at their most recent starts for a win. And in race 7:49, this is the 3-year-old Kifi. He's drawn wide, he's mostly in white colours, and while it looks a bit busy up front in the early stages, the heat map shows that's a bit of an illusion. There wasn't a whole lot of pace, and Kifi, although caught wide, the low pressure helps him with that, and then when it comes time to sprint in the home straight, he's still left with plenty of petrol in the tank. First of all, he's able to outrun the other leaders in a sharp sprint home, but it also means there's too much to do for the ones coming from the back, and he runs out a comfortable victor. 7 days later, Sylvester also won in class 3, and it didn't look quite as sexy as that, but it had plenty of merit of its own. This is race 7:59, he's in turquoise colours, gate 6, and Sylvester is one of the first away this time, and note the heat map. No slow sections early, and the first 1,000 metres was all run a little bit faster than average, with Sylvester up there competing all the way and not getting a rest at any stage. Now, as a result, he should have been easy meat in the straight for something running on, but even though he doesn't get down the straight that fast after all that extra work, he gets the best of the leaders and managed to hold out the closers to win bravely. Both good efforts for different reasons, and certainly to the eye, the superior win was Kifi. But he also attracted the eye of the handicapper, and he got a heavier penalty than Sylvester. So I don't think there's that much between them. And I just want to take another little detour here to say that this is the kind of horse that has really propelled trainer Frankie Law to the top of the leaderboard this season in the trainer's title race. Winners up in class, he has really shot the lights out. And we take a look at this graphic. When it does happen, which I'm pretty sure it's going to, Law's will have been a comprehensive victory, heading the metrics in a number of ways, as well as providing profitable wins versus the market expectations. And winners up in class, another clear victory. Only Richard Gibson has a better strike rate, but from a very small sample, while Law has had more wins, a high strike rate, and, as the figure on the right-hand side shows, comfortably outrunning the expectations of that very tough marker, the betting market. So, as I said, I don't think there's a great deal between these two winners up in class. So how do we split them? Well, I think that the draw does that for us. When we take a look at the map, I'm not sure how fast this race tempo will get to. It might slow up mid-race, I think, but whatever happens, Kifi gets the best map. With a slow speed, that might help Sylvester work forward from a middle draw, but Kifi, he'll be up there regardless without spending any carrots. A little bit better speed might leave Sylvester caught wide or having to go further back to get in, and then he's giving his arch rival a start. Either way, Kifi appears to have a tactical edge from his better barrier. So the tip in race 10, Kifi, his winning factor, the draw. Now, if the draws had come out differently, I might have gone for Sylvester over Kifi, but I do think these two dominate discussions. This is an area where trainer Frankie Law has really excelled, but I think the better draw just gives the edge to Kifi. Well, that's it for the winning factor this week. Enjoy the racing on Sunday. We'll see you next time.